There comes a moment in life when you look in the mirror and finally admit the truth. You are not tired. You are not unlucky. You are not broken. You are simply not hungry enough yet. Every dream you've ever had is standing right behind the door you keep refusing to kick down. And the question is not, can you? The real question is, how bad do you want it? Because life doesn't hand rewards to the interested. It gives rewards to the obsessed. The ones who chase what they want like their next breath depends on it. The ones who burn every excuse, silence every doubt, and get up every time the world tries to keep them on their knees. You want success? Then stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop asking others to believe in you when you don't even believe in yourself. Life is whispering the same question every single day. How badly are you willing to pay the price for the life you say you want? Success demands a hunger most people will never understand. It's not the kind of hunger you feel when you skip a meal. It's the kind of hunger that keeps you awake at night because your dreams refuse to let you sleep. It's the fire burning in your chest when you know you were born for more, yet the life you're living hasn't caught up to the person you're trying to become. Most people say they want success, but their actions scream something very different. They want comfort, they want security, they want praise, they want results, but they don't want the sacrifice that greatness requires. Hunger is the difference between desire and obsession, between I want it and I will do whatever it takes, between wishing for success and hunting it down like a predator that hasn't eaten in days. When you are truly hungry, you stop negotiating with your excuses. You stop telling yourself stories about why things are hard. You stop waiting for the perfect mood, the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity. Hunger pushes you to create opportunities when none exist. Hunger doesn't let you sleep when you haven't done enough for the day. Hunger makes you uncomfortable with mediocrity, allergic to laziness, and intolerant of your own weaknesses. While others are relaxing, the hungry are planning. While others are complaining, the hungry are training. While others are scrolling, the hungry are building. Hunger gives you tunnel vision for your mission, and you begin to see the world differently, not as it is, but as it could be if you are willing to bleed for it. People who succeed at the highest level don't have more talent, they have more hunger. Talent is wasted every single day because the person who has it isn't hungry enough to maximize it. Meanwhile, someone with less talent but more hunger becomes unstoppable. Hunger makes you outwork people who are born with advantages. Hunger turns an average individual into a monster of execution. Hunger takes a nobody and transforms them into someone the world cannot ignore. The top 1% is not built on comfort, but on consistent discomfort. A willingness to go through what 99% of people avoid. And that willingness comes from hunger. Hunger makes you show up when your body aches, when your mind says stop, when nobody is watching, when nobody supports you, when nobody believes in you. Hunger makes you trust yourself, even when everyone else doubts you. Hunger makes you sacrifice nights out, sleep, entertainment, comfort, and ease. The hungry understand a simple truth. Someone else is working right now to take the future you're dreaming about. Someone else is studying, training, building, pushing while you hesitate. Hunger reminds you that you cannot afford to be average because average effort leads to an average life. And nothing about your potential is average. If you're not hungry, you'll quit the moment you feel discomfort. The moment something becomes hard, you'll look for an exit. You'll blame the environment, the circumstances, the people around you. You'll convince yourself you tried when deep down you know you didn't. But when you're hungry, quitting is not even an option. There is no plan B. There is no backup identity. There is no safety net. You burn the boats. You eliminate plan B because plan A must work. It has to work. Hunger forces you to persist long after motivation fades. Hunger keeps you focused when distractions tempt you. Hunger makes you immune to the opinions of others because your internal fire is stronger than external noise. Most people fail not because the goal was impossible, but because they lacked hunger. They lacked the intensity to keep going when the path became unpleasant. They lacked the belief that effort could change everything. Hunger is a mindset, a decision, a commitment to your future self. It's waking up every day with something to prove, not to the world, but to the version of you that refused to settle. Hunger makes you attack each day like it's the only day you've got. It makes you treat your goals like oxygen, not optional tasks. You know you're hungry when excuses disgust you, when laziness irritates you, when wasting time feels painful. You know you're hungry when the dream becomes a necessity rather than a fantasy. And the beautiful thing about hunger is this: you don't need the right background, the right family, the right connections, or the right timing. Hunger is free. Hunger is available to anyone who wants something so badly they're willing to trade comfort for growth and excuses for discipline. Ask yourself, how badly do you want the life you keep imagining? Do you want it badly enough to stop doing the things that hold you back? Badly enough to cut off distractions, to detach from negative influences, to replace entertainment with elevation? Badly enough to wake up earlier, work harder, think bigger, learn faster, take risks, and stay consistent? Badly enough to endure criticism, loneliness, uncertainty, and discomfort? That is real hunger. Because the truth is simple. You can have excuses or you can have results, but you cannot have both. Hunger decides which one you choose. Success belongs to those who are starving for it, those who refuse to stop until they taste it. Discipline is the single greatest separator between the people who dream of success and the people who actually achieve it. Motivation is a spark, but discipline is the engine. Motivation might get you started, but it will never carry you to the finish line because motivation is fragile. It disappears the moment life gets uncomfortable. Discipline, though, does not negotiate with your feelings. Discipline does not care if you're tired, bored, uninspired, or stressed. It demands that you show up anyway. It demands that you keep your promises to yourself long after the emotion that made you set the goal has faded. People who rely on motivation live their lives like a roller coaster, up one day, down the next. People who rely on discipline live like a machine, consistent, unstoppable, and relentless, because discipline turns action into habit and habit into identity. Every great person you admire was built on discipline. Not talent, not luck, not motivation, discipline. The discipline to wake up early when the rest of the world sleeps. The discipline to say no to distractions when others are chasing instant gratification. The discipline to keep going even when progress is invisible. Most people quit not because they are incapable, but because they do not have the discipline to push through the invisible stages of growth. They want instant results, instant progress, instant success. And the moment reality doesn't match their expectations, they run. Discipline forces you to understand that progress is often slow, boring, repetitive, and uncomfortable. But that is exactly what makes it powerful. Discipline is the quiet force behind every transformation. It turns I wish into I will, and I can't into I must. Discipline is built one choice at a time. One workout you didn't skip. 1 hour of learning you didn't avoid. One temptation you ignored. Every act of discipline is a vote for the future you want. And every moment of weakness is a vote for the life you said you were trying to escape. Discipline does not require perfection. It requires consistency. Even if you fall, discipline forces you to stand back up immediately. Motivation waits for the right mood. Discipline moves regardless of mood. Motivation depends on the environment. Discipline creates its own environment. The truth is, your feelings cannot be trusted. They change every hour. One moment you feel inspired, and the next you feel exhausted. One day you feel like conquering the world, and the next day you feel like doing nothing. If your life is ruled by feelings, then your future is controlled by randomness. Discipline removes emotion from the equation and replaces it with commitment. You don't brush your teeth because you're motivated. You do it because it's necessary. Discipline takes that same energy and applies it to your goals, your health, your work, your dreams. You start doing things not because you want to, but because you told yourself you would. The reason so many people remain stuck is because they worship motivation instead of mastering discipline. They sit around waiting to feel ready, waiting for inspiration to strike, waiting for circumstances to be perfect. They don't realize that the clock is ticking, that time is passing whether they act or not. Discipline understands urgency. Discipline understands that your future is being shaped right now, not later. Later is the enemy. Later is the graveyard of potential. Discipline fights that voice in your head that says, I'll do it tomorrow. because it knows tomorrow rarely comes. Discipline transforms you into someone you can trust. Every time you keep a commitment to yourself, you build confidence. Not the fake confidence that comes from hype, but the real confidence that comes from evidence. You know you can rely on yourself. You know you can execute. You know you can endure. Discipline gives you a reputation with yourself, and that reputation becomes your identity. Once you become someone who does the work no matter what, the world becomes yours, because most people simply won't. Most people break promises to themselves daily. Most people take the easy path. Most people let the smallest discomfort stop them. And that is why disciplined people are rare, and rare people stand out. Discipline also protects you from your own worst habits. It keeps you from slipping back into the patterns that once destroyed you. Oversleeping, procrastinating, quitting, avoiding challenges, seeking shortcuts. Discipline is the guardian at the gate of your future, stopping you from ruining your own opportunities. It trains your mind to resist impulses and choose purpose over pleasure. The world is full of distractions designed to steal your focus, weaken your drive, and bury your ambition. Discipline is your weapon against all of it. There will be days when you don't want to move, when your mind becomes your biggest enemy, when you question whether the hard work is worth it. And in those moments, motivation will fail you. Discipline won't. Discipline is built on reason, logic, and purpose. It reminds you why you started. It reminds you what you're working toward. It reminds you that quitting will hurt worse than the effort it takes to keep going. Discipline becomes your internal coach, pushing you to do the things today that your future self will thank you for tomorrow. The strongest version of you lives on the other side of discipline. Not the version who waits for inspiration, not the version who needs hype, applause, or external validation. The strongest version is the one who shows up every day, even when nobody watches, even when nobody claps, even when nobody cares. Discipline teaches you that you don't need permission. You don't need perfect timing. You don't need motivation. You need commitment. You need consistency. You need courage. Success is not emotional. It is habitual. And discipline is the habit that builds every other habit. Your environment is more powerful than you think. It shapes your thoughts, your habits, your standards, your dreams, and even your identity. The people you surround yourself with are not just part of your life, they are part of your destiny. You absorb their mindset, their energy, their expectations, and their limitations without even realizing it. You start to think like them, act like them, and eventually become like them. Your environment is either pushing you toward greatness or pulling you into mediocrity. And the toughest truth to swallow is this: your environment is a mirror that reflects what you truly allow, accept, and tolerate. You can't plant a seed in toxic soil and expect it to grow. You can't surround yourself with people who complain, gossip, and settle, then wonder why you're not progressing. You can't keep spending time with people who are comfortable being average and expect to rise above average yourself. If your circle isn't challenging you, they're limiting you. If they aren't inspiring you, they're draining you. If they aren't pushing you forward, they're holding you back. And sometimes the people closest to you are the very ones keeping you small, not because they hate you, but because your growth exposes their lack of growth. Your environment isn't just the people, it's what you consume daily. The content you watch, the voices you listen to, the conversations you entertain, the habits you normalize. Every piece of information you feed your mind is either building you or breaking you. Every minute spent on negativity is a minute stolen from your future. Your future self is shaped by the inputs you allow today. If you constantly surround yourself with noise, distractions, complaints, and excuses, your mind will adopt them as truth. But if you surround yourself with ambition, vision, discipline, and excellence, your mind will adapt to that as well. You become the product of what you consistently absorb. The hardest part of leveling up is leaving behind the environment that kept you comfortable. When you start changing, people will say you've changed, but that's the point. Growth requires change. Success requires sacrifice. Elevation requires separation. You cannot evolve while staying surrounded by the same patterns, the same conversations, the same limitations. Sometimes you must distance yourself from people who aren't going anywhere because they will never give you permission to go further than them. Not because they want to stop you, but because your movement reminds them of their stagnation. Your circle should scare you a little. Not because they intimidate you, but because they challenge you to be more. They hold you accountable when you slack. They talk about ideas, not people. They push you to aim higher, think deeper, and act smarter. When you're around winners, laziness feels embarrassing. Excuses sound stupid. Mediocrity becomes unacceptable. That is the power of a growth environment. It forces you to elevate because everyone around you is elevating. If you want to change your life, change your environment. Remove the noise. Create distance from the negative voices. Limit the conversations that drain your energy. Spend more time with people who are where you want to go, not people who are comfortable staying where they've always been. Look for environments where growth is normal, not rare. Where ambition is respected, not ridiculed. Where discipline is admired, not mocked. Where dreaming big is encouraged, not shamed. And it's not always easy. Sometimes the environment that holds you back is filled with people you care about, friends you've known for years, family who means well but doesn't understand the mindset you're trying to build. You don't have to cut people off with anger. You can simply limit your exposure, not out of disrespect, but out of self-respect. Your future is too important to let it be shaped by people who refuse to grow. Your environment also includes the goals you set for yourself and the standards you enforce. If you keep yourself in environments where low effort is acceptable, you'll adopt low effort. If you spend time in spaces where people take pride in discipline, you'll naturally rise to that level. Humans adapt to their surroundings faster than they realize. That's why winners place themselves in environments that demand excellence. They understand that environment is not by accident. It is a strategy. If you walk into a gym where everyone trains like a beast, you will push harder. If you walk into a room where everyone talks about dreams, business, and improvement, you will expand your thinking. If you surround yourself with people who wake up early, work with focus, chase purpose, and hold themselves accountable, your life will begin to mirror theirs. That is the power of proximity. Stand near the fire and you will catch heat. Stand near cold people and you will freeze. Your environment should elevate you. It should remind you of who you want to become, not who you used to be. It should push you to think bigger, act better, live smarter, and demand more from yourself. Your environment is your silent teacher, your invisible coach, your hidden influence. It is shaping your life whether you acknowledge it or not. So ask yourself, who are you allowing to influence your mindset? What conversations are shaping your decisions? What content is programming your thoughts? What habits are forming because of the people you're around? If you want to become stronger, get around strength. If you want to become disciplined, get around discipline. If you want to become successful, get around success. Because you will always rise or fall to the level of the environment you call home. At the end of the day, everything in your life comes down to a single decision. Stay the person you are or become the person you were meant to be. The hunger you carry, the discipline you build, and the environment you choose are the three forces that shape your destiny. You cannot wish your way into greatness. You cannot talk your way into success. You must live it, breathe it, chase it, and fight for it. Every dream has a price, and life will test you to see if you're willing to pay it. The world doesn't hand you power. You take it by showing up again and again when everyone else has given up. That is the difference between the weak and the unstoppable. You must understand that no one is coming to save you. No one is responsible for your dreams, your growth, or your future except you. And that's not a burden. That's freedom. It means everything is still in your hands. It means you can rewrite your story at any moment. It means you can rise from any situation, overcome any setback, and build a life so powerful that people who once doubted you will have no choice but to respect the transformation. But for that to happen, you must become the kind of person who refuses to negotiate with excuses, who refuses to settle for the life they were handed, and who refuses to abandon their own potential. The truth is simple. Greatness isn't given. It's earned through years of staying consistent when nobody claps, staying disciplined when nobody believes, and staying focused when nobody understands. You will walk alone at times. You will outgrow people. You will face doubt, fear, fatigue, and frustration. But those who succeed are the ones who walk through that fire without backing down. Because once you master hunger, discipline, and environment, you become dangerous. You become the kind of person who cannot be stopped, distracted, or defeated. You become the kind of person who wins not because of talent, but because of relentless commitment. So ask yourself right now, what are you going to do next? Continue living like the world owes you something, or start acting like you owe the world your greatness. Continue following your feelings, or start following your purpose. Continue surrounding yourself with people who keep you comfortable, or build a circle that forces you to evolve. Your future is not waiting for someday. It's waiting for you to rise today. And if you're willing to push harder, think bigger, and want it more than anyone around you, then life will open doors you once thought were impossible. The question remains, how bad do you want it? Thank you for watching. I appreciate every single one of you who invests your time, your focus, and your energy into becoming a stronger version of yourself. Your support means more than words can express. If this message gave you value, strength, or clarity, then make sure to stay connected because we're only getting started. Until next time, stay hungry, stay disciplined, stay relentless. Keep pushing, keep growing, and never stop chasing the life you were born to live. Thank you and goodbye. As we reach the end of this message, remember this: nothing in your life will change unless you decide to change it. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel ready. The world rewards action, not intention. Everything you want, every dream, every goal, every breakthrough is waiting on the other side of your courage. You have the strength. You have the potential. You have the ability to rise far beyond anything you've experienced so far, but you must choose it. You must commit to it. You must show the world and yourself who you truly are when the excuses fall away and the real work begins. So as you walk away from this video and step back into your life, do not let this motivation fade. Turn it into discipline. Turn it into habits. Turn it into a version of you that never settles and never breaks under pressure. The world is full of people who dream. Be one of the rare few who execute. Be the one who rises. Be the one who decides that enough is enough and builds the life they once thought was impossible. Thank you for watching. Stay focused, stay powerful, and keep moving forward. Your future is waiting.